Hello and welcome to Saved, Not Scammed, where we expose manipulation, uplift the truth, and where we always remember Jesus didn't need an upline, so neither do we. My name is Kayla, and I am a self-proclaimed baby Christian. Wow. I like to say that because I'm not a Bible thumper. You won't hear any preaching here. I'm not trying to convert you per se. In fact, I'm not going to be the most perfect Christian. You know, we do a little judging over here. The Bible says you can judge Christians. Okay, it does say that. Check it out for yourself, boogies smokies. And what I like to do on this channel is I like to expose faith manipulation in the top 1% of multi-level marketing companies. If you haven't guessed it already, I don't like multi-level marketing business structures. I think that they're pyramid schemes, in my opinion. Today, we are covering this channel's most popular, if I do say so myself, Nueva. Nueva is a company that sprouted like a weed in the sidewalk that nobody wanted in 2025. And I'm going to let one of the founders himself kind of discuss how it all got started in just a moment here. But one of the main reasons why I wanted to talk about Nueva again is the fact that it is the new year. And what happens in the new year? People get excited. They want to turn over a new leaf. And that is amazing, beautiful, good for you. I'm not a New Year's resolution girly. It's just not my role. It's just not what I do. I'm just too lazy for it. Sorry, not sorry. But what happens when people have these amazing intentions is that companies come out of the woodworks like predators and try to take advantage of that. If you go into any store, I don't care what it is, Walgreens, Walmart, Target's, anything, you are going to see yoga mats and weights and, you know, your Atkins diet's little protein powder, blah, blah, blahs at the freaking front, okay? They're just preying on you to buy your results. Go to Erin B's channel. She's great at discussing both anti-MLM as well as what does being healthy and, you know, having strength and a body that you're proud of look like, because that looks different for a million different people. All right. So Nueva, this company we're going to discuss today, is no different. They are a lifestyle, aka weight loss company. And so they are going to pull all the stops right now in the beginning of the year to try and get you to buy their overpriced literal crap, in my opinion. So let's take a look at one of the founders, John Melton himself. We are going to go over a post that he has about some of the ingredients in his new product, and we're going to discuss what do those ingredients actually do that he won't tell you. Of course. And then, of course, we're going to review a video of his where he talks and talks and talks. Fun times. Wonder if I'll be able to cut him off like I do Ray Higdon. Okay. This post, the very first one, comes to us from December 23rd, 2025. He tags like 47 other people, and he said, "It was a pretty terrifying thought starting our own company back in April, but after multiple disappointments the last 24 years, it felt like the only logical next step. We wanted to create something for the field, created by field leaders that know what it really takes to build a network marketing business. We had too many people counting on us. Within a few days, we had a company name, a website, and even purchased a domain and trademark." Now remember, they had no product. They had a name and a website. Okay? And to say that people were counting on them, that's because they promised something. Nobody expected them to do that. Nobody said, well, of course, they're going to be the ones. No, they said, we're going to do something for you guys. We're going to make this happen. So that's annoying right off the bat. Let's let them continue. And just like that, Nueva was born, aka a pyramid scheme, because they were allowing people to invest in it before they even had products. Then he says, now we just need products. Oh, they admit right there it's a pyramid scheme. Oh, thank you so much, Sean. Thank you so much. Admitting right there it was a pyramid scheme. Love it so much. Fortunately, we also had not one, but 2 hero products that we could launch within a few months. Oh, I'm so glad, John. if I haven't said it already, everything said in this video is my own opinion. Right off the bat, when people started questioning this company, guess what they did? They went ahead and copyright striked this video. Not, said, oh, this little portion is ours. No, they copyright striked, which from my understanding, you only get like 3 of those. Okay, Bookies, you cannot do that when it is being used under fair use. Okay, you are just doing it out of spite and out of being a little nasty. Okay, that's not okay. All right, there are legal ways in which you can react to people's stuff, and all the people who are doing that, we're doing it appropriately. I think it was Aaron B's, Julie Anderson, and DC. I think those were the 3. There might have been one more. Not okay, not appropriate. So what did that do? What do they call it? The Pamela Anderson effect, or the Sandra D, or whatever the effect, the effect in which people just go even harder, where they go, oh, you're going to try and pull that? Okay, watch us cook. So he continues and says, thank God for my partner's resources and connections, because otherwise it would not have been possible. Forever grateful for Brian McMullen and Tim Houston. We launched Nueva Nitro, which is a next generation nitric oxide and energy enhancement formula designed to help support healthy circulation, oxygen flow, and cellular vitality. Doesn't that sound badass? Question mark? You know what also helps support healthy circulation, oxygen flow, and cellular vitality? A walk. A good little breath of fresh air. Maybe if you can't walk, a little dance party in your seat, just movement in general. You don't need to put a bunch of chemicals, man-made chemicals in your body to be doing all this. Sorry, not sorry. Okay. It also has molecular hydrogen, which helps support energy and antioxidant balance. This product does wonders for mental focus and alertness, along with physical performance. You know what else does? Berries. Wouldn't you know it? Berries helps with antioxidants and energies and cellular performance or physical performance. It does it all. And alertness and mental focus. Yeah, berries. Eat some mixed berries, some blackberries, raspberries, blueberries, strawberries. Have at it. You'll be Gucci smoochy. Goji berries. I don't think I've ever had like a goji berry. But have at it, okay? We get nitro testimonials all day, every day. And don't get me wrong, berries are expensive. But this product that they're selling, the whole nitro thing, hold on, I looked it up. Okay, well, the only way you can buy the nitro is through their sampler or through their set. The nitro sampler is $500 and the set is $180. I'm pretty sure some berries is cheaper. My daughter absolutely loves her mixed berry smoothies. It's one of my favorite ways when berries are not in season or they're really, really expensive to get some good fiber and some, good nutrition in her. I just mix that bad boy up and she's like, this is like ice cream. And I'm like, yes, it totally is. And I give her one of those big straws so she can just and she just loves it. Boom. And that big bag of berries that I get from like Sam's Club is like $8. Yes, that's expensive, but once again, it's in the freezer. It lasts me forever. And because it's in the freezer, I don't need any ice or anything. I just fill it all the way up to the top. The one scoop of chia seeds, the water, bada boom, bada bang. She's got a delicious smoothie, and it does everything that he just said his $180 sampler set does. All right. Continuing on. Sorry. We get nitro testimonials all day, every day. Fire emoji. The other product we launched was our Nueva Body. This product has 2 small molecules that could actually be two separate products blended into one tablet. SLUP 332 and 5-amino 1 MQ. So these two products are the ones that I did an additional research on. It says here the key benefits are metabolic support, cellular vitality, lean body composition, and sustained energy performance. It's a great 1-2 punch with the nitro. So I want to break this down just a little bit more because the package that he's holding says Nueva Body Kickstart, and it says includes a 7-day sample of Nueva Nitro plus Nueva Body. On the website, the only two things that exist is the Nueva Slim and the Nueva Nitro. Okay, that's it. When you look up the Nueva Nitro product sheet, it has the molecular hydrogen, L-citrulline, nitric oxide, green tea caffeine, a electrolyte mineral matrix, which is magnesium, potassium, calcium, and salt, and then vitamin C and B complex. It's not talking about this SLU-PP332, or I'm pretty sure I've heard Julie Anderson say SLUP 332, and then the 5-amino 1-MQ. So then I go, okay, well, is it this snow stuff? Like, what in the heck is this that has all of these fancy products, all of this slup and all this crap in it? I'd love to know. And maybe they're just sold out, but usually if you're just sold out, you would still have the product on there, and then it would be grayed out and say sold out, you know, and be added on to a waiting list or something like that. But when you go into Snow Slim or Snow Collagen, each one of those products also do not have the slup or the 5-amino 1-MQ. So I'm just a little confused about which product has what, and that just goes to show, you know, their inability to be very clear with their customers about what has what is helping with what. And when you look at the words energy, vitality, cellular production, you know, blah, 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 it sounds like they all do the same thing, right? Slimming, body composition, blah, 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 blah. Let's take a deeper look at SLUP 332. So it is a thyroid hormone receptor beta agonist, okay? And it's designed to mimic some effects of the thyroid hormone, specifically in the tissues involved in the metabolism like a liver and muscle. But it's supposed to not strongly affect the heart itself. There is a theory for weight loss, and there were animal studies for it, but there have been no robust human trials. And when you're talking about messing with your thyroid, that is not something to take lightly. Just because you want to get a little slim, okay, just because you want to tone it on up, you'd mess with your thyroid? No thank you. No ma'am, I would not. Potential risks include hormone imbalance. Talk about something that's going to mess with your body composition, along with many other things, is hormones. Anxiety, heat intolerance, and insomnia. I have stated before that I've struggled with many things, including fatigue on this channel. Guys, I am so close to being certain that I've actually found what the issue is with my hair loss and with my fatigue. I have been wanting to find out. I should find out within the next week or so. So I'll keep you guys updated on that, because that would be huge for me, finding out what that is. But my husband's also kind of struggled with fatigue as well, and we thought we found the answer for him, but he's still kind of struggling. Anyway, all that to say that one of the things, for example, ashwagandha, people speak, you know, so highly of it. I want to say it's ashwagandha, but when you actually do the research behind it, it says if you're taking some type of antidepressant, or if you struggle with anxiety or depression, one of those things, it says essentially don't take it. And so my husband takes it, but I don't, because I'm on an antidepressant, an SNRI, not an SSRI. They're two different, very different things. And I was like, okay, I wonder how many people know that, or how many people, especially MLM products, there's a lot of mushrooms and things like that they're selling with these products. I wonder how many people say, hey, if you're struggling with anxiety, of course they try to say that their product's going to help it, but if you're already taking medication, or if you're already struggling with this, obviously consult with your physician, but this product may not be the one for you. For example, he should say, you know, please seek your physician for information regarding these, because this is messing with your thyroid, your hormone, your potential anxiety, and then insomnia. You take my sleep away. Ooh, you got a Kayla that you do not want to mess with. Wow. Last but not least, it says even selective thyroid agonists, which is like a drug or some kind of, supplement, have historically failed or caused harm in later trials. And we got John melted in his face with this. Let me harm you for money, for $200. Am I making the face? I can't do it. That's all about the SLUP 332. Let's talk about 5-amino-1-MQ. This is supposed to inhibit an enzyme that's linked to fat storage, insulin resistance, and reduce cellular energy efficiency. There's a theory for weight loss. It's supposed to improve mitochondrial effectivity, shift cells towards burning fat instead of storing it, and animal studies have shown a reduced fat mass without changing the food intake. Awesome. Love that. I mean, could you imagine? Miracle product, right? Okay, hold your horses. That would be amazing. We would all be taking it instead of, Ozempic or Wegovy, right? The human data is very limited, and it involves liver detox pathways, methylation balance. There are possible risks with unknown long-term metabolic risks in disruption and methyl donors for hormones and neurotransmitters. And most importantly, we have no idea the dosage required for humans in order for it to actually work. So they could be putting in a tablespoon way too much, teaspoon way too little, right? We have no idea how much is actually needed for it to do what it's required to do for that. So once again, we have this trial product that is messing with hormones, with your neurotransmitters, with your body's ability to be able to just run effectively and do its own natural thing when you're messing with that. And none of these are FDA approved. None of these have human trials. And all of these are insanely expensive. And you can find these. I had ChatGPT look up some comparable ones on Amazon. So if you really wanted to try them, if you really want to mess around and find out, you want to try them on Amazon. They are cheaper on Amazon. He is right that finding one with the two combined is more difficult. Wow, revolutionary. Like, let's charge double because you can't find it, with the two combined. I personally like taking two separate things because of the fact that if you have an allergic reaction or something of that effect, you can take one out and see what's actually causing it. So that's why I do that. So let's finish John's little posty post. We didn't want to launch some basic Me Too products that you could buy anywhere. #boring. Ooh, I do not like that sentence, okay? With that being said, these are not cheap products, so we wanted to create a 7-day sample pack so you could try it for a week and see for yourself. First off, what are you going to get after a week? And he is not wrong, they are not cheap. Then we decided to take it one step further, launching a 7-day body kickstart challenge that starts in January. Of course it does. I can't wait to see all the amazing testimonies coming out of this challenge. Up emoji. I am very proud of our team and our partners for putting this whole program together in a timely manner. Pray hands, because everything they do is just like a hot mess and just so doing it in the fastest they possibly can. We are going to help people create better habits, and we have a beautifully created guide to follow to maximize results. All of this while taking the products and plugging into the community to get support and guidance along the way. I'm curious if you've tried Nueva Nitro or Nueva Body, and if so, tell me what you've experienced. It's such a crazy deal that our last company shutting us down on payday without warning was just a giant blessing in disguise. This is why you always have to keep the faith, because there's your plan and then there's God's plan. Hand up emoji, hashtag just getting started, hashtag Nueva life, hashtag 7-day body kickstart, hashtag laser focus, fire emoji, fire emoji. Sheesh. John, doing too much. Doing so much. Alright, let's go ahead and react to this video that he has most recently posted. It's from yesterday at 8:30 a.m. and it says, how I fired my boss and created a full-time income, and you can too. This is really long, but I'd recommend watching at least the first 10 to 15 minutes. This is an hour-long video. I had no idea because it doesn't show me on my phone. So let's watch at least the first 10-15 minutes and see how long we can get through without wanting to die.
Action. What's up, y'all? John Melton coming to you live with MyLifestyleAcademy.com, where we help you go from average in your business to savage in your business. And I want to help you fire your boss. Let me know in the comments if that would excite you, if you would love to fire your boss. And it's so funny, over the years, I have had people go, what does that mean? Dude, obviously that means quitting your job. Hello. However, I don't want you to do it too soon. I don't want you to do it prematurely. I don't want you to make a decision that may backfire. But with that being said, like, it's an exciting thing, right? It's exciting to envision creating a full-time income. How many of us would love to create a full-time income that's like $5,000 a month, $10,000 a month, maybe more? Maybe some of you need more than that to become a full-time networker. But let me know in the comments if that's exciting to you. In fact, I want to know, just for fun, what was your biggest monthly paycheck? What was the most money you ever made in a month inside your network marketing business? I'm just curious, but I want to help you fire your boss. I'm going to share with you what I had to do to finally fire my boss, create a full-time income. I'm going to give you some of the steps to success. But also, a lot of it is like, it's not just like, what should you do every day? What's your DMO? Like, there's a little more to it than that, right? That self-development is a big part of it, right? Personal growth with a compensation plan attached. Character development, personal development. It's such a big part of what we do, because if you want to attract better people, you got to get better. Don't be bitter, get better. Don't get frustrated, get fascinated. Say, what are all the other top people doing? Maybe I should model success. Doesn't that make sense? Doesn't it make sense to find a mentor, to find someone that inspires you, someone that you relate to, where it's like, man, look what they've done. Look at the car they're driving. Look at the house they live in, or the home.
Obviously, he's positioning it for a multi-level marketing, right? He's clearly said, he didn't say how much have you made in a month, because I guarantee you that I have made more than 99.9% of network marketers. It's not hard to do. Just work a minimum wage job. You've made more than 99.9%. You know, almost all anti-MLM channels, it's kind of like this like repeat, you know, of saying the same thing over and over again. So thank you so much for watching me, for repeating myself all the time. I appreciate you. But these are not professionals. They're mentor. I don't care how long in the game you are. And that's actually one of the reasons, if you don't know, I'm an alcoholic, recovering, I'm sober, it's great. But I don't like AA. I'm sorry, it's helped many people and I love that so much for them. I don't like AA because your 12th step is to be a sponsor. Well, a sponsor's not a professional person. They're just someone who's gone through the 12 steps. But they're supposed to like help you in a very like extreme sense of the word. Just like these mentors, your upline is supposed to help you in a very extreme sense of the word. Even though they're not your boss, apparently. And I'm like, you're not a professional. You're not someone who has the capacity, the education. You might have some, you know, understanding, some firsthand anecdotal or, you know, empathetic understanding of what I've gone through. But at the same time, where's your education? Where's your, you know, where's your resume that says you'd be good at this? So I don't, and it's just my personal personal preference to not, go that path. This is kind of like, talking about it on this platform has been very therapeutic for me. So thank you guys for being so kind. Literally everyone has been so kind, so sweet. Not a single person's been like, we get it, you love the booze. Like, not a single person. So, which I don't love the booze, obviously. They destroyed my life. And also I've, been able to overcome that and become a much better version of myself. But these mentors, who gave them the authority other than being able to manipulate you enough to join this scheme, this scam-a-lam, in my opinion? Legit, they have nothing. Like, if someone were to recruit me into this, I'd be like, can you send me your CV, please? Like, I want to see what makes you think that you should be my upline, right? So, and of course he's saying, you should find someone who inspires you, but he's giving the inspiration as what car they drive. What does the vehicle that they possess? My dentist, okay, he is the most amazing person. All right. He has a big, beautiful family. He runs an extremely successful practice. It's been around, gosh, for forever, at least a decade, because I've lived in this town for a decade. But he drives a hoopty. You would never know he is an extremely successful dentist from the vehicle he drives. Never know. Okay? The car that you drive means nothing. In fact, it might mean how much debt you're in. Okay? It might mean how much you need to fork over monthly in order to make sure that your bills are paid. All right? I don't think what car you drive has anything to do with how successful you are. Number one. Number two, your house. I don't want to be house poor. Okay, I bought this house 10 years ago. Bookie's staying put as long as I possibly can. Okay, 10 years ago, houses were, so much cheaper. All right. And I remember, it's so funny because when we purchased this house, we were looking back at when our house was purchased, which was in 2008, which was right after the housing market crash. So the house was even cheaper than it was when we bought it. We were like, if only we could purchase it in 2008. And like, it's like, if only 2008. Oh my gosh, So it's just one of those things. But just because someone lives in a house, a nice house, you have no idea. Was it inherited? Are they house poor? What's the scenario? What's the situation? None of our business. Does the house have a horrible foundation? You don't know. You don't know. Okay. So it's just that kind of stuff I never ever look at. It means nothing to me. I know so many people. Once again, I used to help so many people out with their finances. It is one of my favorite things to do to help people get out of debt. I absolutely thrive on it. I love it. It's so much fun. And I've seen so many people with finances. I'm telling you, a car means nothing. A house means nothing. The purse they have means nothing. Nothing means nothing. I'm telling you right now. They will be this high in debt, just struggling to survive, and they will be getting their nails done every week. Like, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Or they will be so rich and you would have no idea. So just do not judge based off of those superficial things. It means nothing. In addition to that, just because someone is well off, let's say that their house and their vehicle and things of that nature are indicative of their monetary wealth, right? Of their net worth, okay? That means little in terms of their ability to be able to mentor you. Fire emoji. When I worked in sales, they would always promote these great salespeople. Just because they're great at sales doesn't mean they'll be a good manager. Are they making sure that inventory is stocked? Are they able to take care of escalations? Are they able to, ensure that the policies and procedures are being updated and followed appropriately? Are they able to do managerial tasks as opposed to just being good at sales? You see what I'm saying here? So just because they're successful does not mean that they're going to be a good mentor to help someone else be successful, right? My 2 cents.
homes they own. Look at the lifestyle they wake up when they're done sleeping. How many of us would love to fire our boss just so we can wake up when we're done sleeping versus to an alarm clock, driving rush hour traffic and live paycheck to paycheck and have more month than money? I've never met anybody that's like, oh, if I had another dollar, I'd burn it, right? With that being said, let me help you. I'm going to share with you some strategy, but also philosophy, because it did take me about 7 years to fire my boss. Now, part of that was because I was in a company, it went out of business. Then I got into the mortgage industry and I actually made a lot of money in mortgages. In fact, you can probably see back here somewhere, one of my trophies, President's Club, back in 2004, when I was the top loan officer in a mortgage company in Baltimore. Made a lot of money. Didn't have residual income. Didn't have leveraged income. How many of us want some more residual income in our life? Let me know in the comments if you could use some residuals. If you want leveraged income.
Ooh. Once again, residual income is not applicable to multi-level marketing business structures. Best examples of residuals are from music, are from books, are from like subscriptions if you have some type of software or something of that nature. They say property. I am hesitant with that because you still have to maintain it. You usually still have to have a property management. Usually residual is after all expenses are paid. You're still getting money after it. That is not the case. Usually they have a minimum requirement that you have to purchase per month. And in addition to that, you also have the fact that you are a product of the product. You have to be purchasing the product in order to sell the product. Even if you're at the tippity top, you are still expected to be a product of the product. So you still have to have the newest, latest, greatest and be showing it off to all of your peeps. So no, John, for as smart as you are, and see, this is the thing, is that he's so smart that he knows that if he calls it residual, they will believe it's residual. He knows that if he says it, they will then go say it, even though it's not. He knows it's not. We know it's not. But the people that he's speaking to are like, oh my gosh, this is great. This is residual. No, it's not. Knock it off.
Let me know. Smash that heart button. Let's talk about it. So I'm excited about this topic of conversation. I'm going to do my best to stay on track because I get very, very excited about this. But part of it is also in the early days of network marketing, I really learned how to not make excuses. Excuses are contagious, number one. Number two, you can make money or make excuses. You can't do both. Does that make some sense? Like sometimes people get involved in a business like this. They're like, I've never done it before. Like, okay, that's an excuse. I don't know that many people. That's an excuse. These are all excuses. And look, ultimately, it's very normal. It's very common to second guess things and question your capability. It's very normal. Like people will say, I'm not confident. Like, hello, of course. Were you confident driving an automobile the first day, the first week, the first month? Now, some of you might say yes, but if you're normal, you'd probably admit like driving on the highway was pretty scary in the beginning. I used to freak out having to drive behind
So he's trying to compare the confidence that you have behind the wheel operating a motor vehicle, which is a learned skill. Okay, driving, being able to tell the pressure, the, where to look, when to look, how to look, all the rules of the road. All right, defensive driving is a skill, right? There's an entire sport based off of driving. All right, that is a skill set. Okay. And yes, sales can be a skill as well. But the overall premise of multi-level marketing, the overall idea that there is a business model in which you recruit people who then have to recruit people who then have to recruit people, even though there is this element of a product in there that you can sell as well, and there's still customers in there that's kind of helping it to stay legal and not a just blatant pyramid scheme, which by the way the FTC still considers, even if it has a product, it can be considered a pyramid scheme, even if it sells a product. Okay, link down below, as always, to the FTC guidelines as to what is considered a pyramid scheme. I would not per se call it the same type of skill. It definitely is maybe still considered a skill, right? It's a profession, it's a skill, sales. But the premise of that multi-level marketing, when you add sales on top of that multi-level marketing business structure, when you are competing against most of the world understanding and acknowledging that this recruiting to recruit ends up with a structure in which only the top 1% or less than the top 1% are actually making a livable wage where they can fire their own boss. That is a battle that you have to fight so consistently that it is not a normal sales battle. I don't have to, at my old sales job, say, this isn't a scam. Ever. I never had to say that. Not one time. How often do they have to say that?
Does that make some sense?
They like to do this. It's sales when it's convenient to them, and it's not sales when it's not convenient to them. It's more entrepreneurial when it's convenient to them. It's, the upline's the boss when it's convenient to them. You're your own boss when it's convenient to them. They switch it up whenever it's convenient to them. But the fact of the matter is that this structure, we know, FTC knows their income disclosure, which they don't have because they're brand new, but all the other income disclosure statements show an anecdotal evidence that we've accumulated throughout YouTube. Just type in anti-MLM, you will see anecdotal evidence, specifically horror stories. You will see hours and hours, thousands, if not tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of hours of people saying that this business structure leads to failure. So when you're fighting up against that, your confidence is going to suck a little bit. Whereas when you're talking about a car, you're not going to have to fight up against that. So you're making whatever strongman fallacy. It has nothing to do with it. Apples to oranges. It has nothing to do with each other.
Does that make some sense? Behind or next to a Mack truck or something, like one of those big 18-wheelers, used to freak me out. I could never pass it, but I was afraid not to pass it and be behind it because I couldn't see. I remember this. I remember when I first started waiting tables and being so nervous and overwhelmed that I couldn't memorize the menu. So it drives me crazy when people are like, I'm overwhelmed. Hello, it's better to be overwhelmed than underwhelmed and be like, this is it. This sucks. Right? So anyway, I wanted to share this real quick. Join me live to fire your boss. There's nothing better than firing your boss. Now, some of you might say, I love my boss, John. I love my job. I love my benefits. And that's fine. But wouldn't it be nice to have the option? Wouldn't it be nice just to match your income? Let's say in your job you make $6,000 a month. Wouldn't it be nice to make an extra $6,000 a month? Anyone? Let me know. Smash the heart button.
John, I challenge you to find me an income disclosure statement where there are at least minimum 50% of the participants making $6,000 a month. I mean, impossible. Find me one where 25%, impossible. Find me one where 10%, $6,000 a month, impossible. $6,000 a month is like $72,000 a year. When was the last time you saw an income disclosure statement that said that the top 6% of the company is making $72,000 a year? Never. Never. Never, ever, 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 ever. Top 10%. Okay, top 5%. Never. 72,000. It's usually the top 3 or 4 ranks, and those top 3 or 4 ranks are usually the top 2%, if that.
Ooh, this is it. This sucks.
We just talked about Mary Kay, top 2%. The top 1% is making $120,000. The one right below it is making $20,000 a year, which is $10 an hour if they're working it full time. And so that would require you to be working full time. So now you're working 80 hours a week. So he's like, oh, wouldn't it be so great if you could just double it? It's a snap of the fingers. No, that requires you to work. And he's just giggling about it. But then in 2 seconds later, he's going to be like, but this requires real work. You're going to have to put in time, energy, effort. So hypocritical.
I think it's a pretty exciting thing. I think it's an exciting topic of conversation. But here's some of what I did. So back in the early days of network marketing, my mentor would say you can make money or make excuses. You can't do both. I believed her. So not at first, but eventually I understood I had to have a positive attitude. And I had to always be like solution oriented and not feel sorry for myself that I didn't have influence. I didn't have credibility. I was very young. Nobody I knew had money. Like I would always hear the money objection because none of my friends had money. I didn't have money. So I had to get better so that I could recruit better people. That was number one. Don't be bitter, get better. People will say, I wish I could attract A players. Become an A player. Become a person of influence. That's why you got to read the books. That's why you got to study the greats, right? The people the Jim Rohns of the world, the Tony Robbins, like study and listen to them. Nadia.
I'm sorry, but I don't know these people that he's talking about, but all I envision is just becoming like an MLM bro. Just becoming one of those DBs of just like wake up 4 a.m., ice your face. Like I just envision that, and I'm just like, what is being better to you? What is that? Like, what? And I do understand that my version of success and happiness and being an A player is different than his. And that's just going to be on a fundamental level, and that's okay, right? If that's his goal in life, go for it, my guy. Like, do your thing. Do your thing. All right? But at the same time, there is a level of belittling that he has for anyone else who doesn't have that same vision. And I want to try not to have that same, kind of attitude where, if someone's not like, just live your life and love everyone and be cool with what you have. If people don't have that same vision, to each his own. As long as it doesn't come at the cost of hurting others. Simple, easy peasy. Simple, easy peasy peasy. Okay? And what he is doing, not only by being a founder, but also by encouraging this behavior, he is absolutely, in my opinion, at fault for hurting thousands of people. Fire emoji. Not okay.
Listens to Brendan Bouchard every day. Every morning she listens to Brendan. That's like her go-to. Like, who's your go-to? Let me know in the comments. Who is your go-to? Who do you love listening to? Who motivates and inspires you? Right? But you don't want to just listen. You want to study. You want to study every single day. Maybe it's Bible study. Maybe that's where you get your inspiration from. Maybe you're doing a course. Maybe you're following someone that really inspires you and they're like a top earner, a top leader. They could be your upline or they could be in your company. They could be in a different company, but you can learn from these people, right? Learning is great. But at some point, you want to remove the L. You know what I'm saying? Like, you want to start earning.
Oh, he was so proud of himself on that. He was just like, oh my God, if you remove the L from learning, it's earning. Genius. Genius. He was so proud. Oh my gosh. Good job, John. Good job. You discovered that once you remove the L from the word learning, you get earning. It's very magical. Oh my gosh. Everything is about making money.
So with that being said, one of the things that I did in 2008 that helped me fire my boss is I started recruiting up. I started recruiting people, write this down, with WHIP. W-H-I-P. WHIP. Work ethic, hunger, integrity, and if they have this one, oof, it's extra nasty. It's extra nasty if they have the personal.
I've been a nasty girl. I've been a nasty girl. Nasty. I've been a nasty girl. I have the personal power to call out people like John Melton who think that they are God's gift to the world. And when in all actuality, he's spouting nonsense. His work ethic is to convince you to manipulate your friends and families to sell this nonsense products. These products that he's posting a picture on can hurt your body. And his work ethic is to say, oh, try this out, 7 days free. It's expensive, but it's because it worked great, you know? What? And, you know, don't get me wrong. Once again, me and Sarah, we love us some Dr. Pepper, okay? Like, we're a little Dr. Pepper girlies, okay? I'm not over here saying you need to eat your fruits and vegetables and nothing else, okay? But I mean, to be selling $200 worth of crap and then saying that you need to join this pyramid scheme and then it's going to make you $6,000 a month extra when that is so far from the truth. I cannot wait for when they do not bring out an income disclosure statement, because the chances are they won't. The chances are, because they've been so unprofessional so far, I highly doubt they will bring out an income disclosure. And if they do, I will guarantee you that it will tell you that a majority of their participants are not making enough to support the amount that their compensation plan requires them to put out in personal value per month. Personal volume per month.
This is it. This sucks.
So, what did he have? Work ethic. What was it? He's probably going to repeat himself.
Power. WHIP. Whoosh, cracking the whip. So you want to look for people with work ethic, hunger, integrity.
Hunger. This whole thing with hunger. What you're hungry for, coming from a little goo goo gaga. Well. Okay. It's the hunger for the Lord. Okay, the big old G-O-D. The big dog. Okay, wanting to know him more, understand him more, build a stronger relationship. It's not hunger for money. And we talk about this once again, had that negative comment. They were like, oh, I'm pretty sure the Lord says don't judge. Yeah, he does. Yeah, he do. Anyone who's not a Christian, it says the Lord will take care of them. Okay, all you need to do is help them find the Jesus. And then other than that, don't be talking to them. Like, don't be bugging them. Okay. But if they are within the church, all right, and they are preaching things that aren't okay, if they are using the word in the wrong way, you need to call them out, okay? Jesus flipped tables in the temples on scammers, okay? He said that was not Gucci smoochy. I was going somewhere with this, and I was on a roll, and then I freaking dropped it. Dropped it like it was hot. Oh, I was talking about the nasty comment, okay? The nasty. They were talking about, you know, it's not a sin or whatever to be wealthy, and like, what if you become a millionaire off this channel? First off, fat chance. By the way, please subscribe. You make my heart go pitter patter. I actually have gotten 4 subscribers in the last week. I was so excited about. I was so excited, but I was so stoked because I lost another one. I was like, I did something wrong. And then, which, once again, I'm not everyone's cup of tea. Totally fine. I'm a judgy little Christian girl. I'm a little hypocrite. And kind of a little hypocrite. But I was so excited because right after I lost that one, and maybe it was a mistake and they refollowed. Who knows? It only tells them if it's like public. I don't know. I don't get the whole thing. But I was so excited because, well, hopefully it stays, but I'm at 292 and that just made me so happy. So thank you so much for subscribing. As always, don't put on the bell icon if you do not want to be bugged. I don't have my notifications on, so you don't need to either. She was saying how she was like, it's, you know, who cares if you're wealthy, blah, blah, blah. And I said, I never said, how many times have I said, who cares if you're wealthy? Like, nobody's saying that you can't be rich, blah, 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 whatever. Nobody said that. I didn't say that. It's the love of it. It's the greed. It's the hunger for the money. It is, you know, it's harder for a rich man to get into heaven than it is a camel through an eye of a needle. Like, it is the fact that if you are so focused, if you're so hungry for money, if you're so hungry to be successful into the money wise, you're not, you know, fulfilling your biblical, you know, calling, okay? Your little biblical, you know, whatchamacallit, okay? If you are, you know, big dog, What do you need from me, my guy? Well, what can I do for you today? What are you calling me to do? Okay, what can I help you out with? Then at that point in time, Big Dog will tell you, I got you, you got me, like we're, and he will provide. He will give you all the things you need. And in this day and age, money's a resource. He'll holler at your girl. Okay, he'll make it rain. All right, okay. He said something about personal power and then something in the middle. We'll let him continue. I already said personal power. We all got that, okay? He's acting like this is something special. We all got personal power, all right? I got lots of personal power to call him out.
Hunger, integrity, personal power. The bottom line, an A player is...
Oh, he said integrity. Guys, he said integrity. Guys, he said integrity.
Does that make some sense?
I am shooketh. I am shooketh right here, right now. Shooketh. He said integrity. Can you? Can you? I can't. Not me, not I can't. Okay. Continue, Mr. Melton.
Ethic, hunger, integrity, personal power. The bottom line, an A player is someone that has a good attitude. Someone that's open-minded. They're open to another opportunity. They've got the desire. They've got the hunger. You can't teach desire. You can't teach obsession. But I will tell you, the other thing that I got really, really good at is identifying talent, identifying capability, and pouring into that person, being level blind. I don't care what level someone's on. If they're on my team and they're inboxing me, they're looking for support, they're putting me in chats. I'm not like, oh, you're on my 4th level or my 10th level. Like, you're on my 25th level. Like, back in, what was it? 2012. I think it was 2012. Maybe no, it was earlier than that, like 2000. I think it was like 2010. I was really focused on building new lines and finding those A players, those business-minded people, those entrepreneurial types. And I mean, I had guys that were on like my 30th, 40th. I think I even had one guy. He was like my number one guy, Peter Francis. He was on like my 50th level. So it did not matter to me whether it was a personal recruit or it was someone on my 50th level. Like, I was going to work with people that were hungry, that were coachable, that had the attitude, that, whatever it takes mentality, that WIT, whatever it takes mentality. I had to find people like that. Smash that heart button if that's you. That's why you're watching this. So number one, you got to get serious. You need a schedule. You need to hold yourself accountable. You need to work on you, do the personal development, but also take action, because you'll do more learning than earning in the early days. But the best way to earn is through the learning.
Interesting. I wonder if he was paid out from the 50th level, because usually they don't get paid out from that level. Usually it goes, 10 deep, something like that. But that's crazy to know. But that just goes to show how big his downline was. To have 50 levels deep, that is insane. Because if you don't know, each level is someone's downline. Crazy.
But the implementation of the learning, that's the key. You can't just listen to stuff and go, I feel good. I feel good. Okay, cool. Now go start some conversations. Get better at asking questions. Get better at rapport building. Get better at the follow-up, because the fortune's in the follow-up. Get better.
And we forgot to, I saw it, but I didn't want to pause it too soon. And now I'm doing the same thing. I'm just pausing it too soon. Pouring. We got some pouring in there, some pouring action. Oh, my goodness. We're all just a big old cup, and he's just pouring into us. Shouldn't we be so grateful? Shouldn't we be so grateful? Oh.
Better at tracking your people, right? Tracking your customers, following up with the people on your team, right? Onboarding new people, launching new people. Go on a run. Like, right now is the perfect time. Listen, write this down. The best time of year to build a home business is March, April, May, June. These are the 4 best months right there. But who do you think makes the most money in March, April, May, and June? Do you think it's the people that join in March? Do you think it's the people that join in May? Or do you think it's the people that are running right now? Do you think it's the people that are building in January, that we're building during the holidays? It's the people that are building right now that are going to capitalize on March, April, May, June. Now, then you get into the summer, slows down a little bit, right? Plateaus a little bit. That's normal. This is it. This sucks. Then the fall, the fall's kind of like September and October remind me a lot of January and February. Like you could still build, you could still have success, but you'll notice November is better than all three of those months. November.
I was just about to say, he is going to say, but it's the people who started right now. But guess what? He's going to say the same thing in February, and the same thing in March, and the same thing in April, and the same thing. Guys, I hate salespeople. I know I used to be one. I know. I get it. I know. I quit for a reason. I looked for another job for a reason. I didn't want to do it anymore. It's tiring being sold to. It's tiring selling to people. But once again, it's that love of money that just keeps you going. His love and his greed is, it is palpable.
Is way better, typically, than October, September, and August. But guess who makes the most money in November? The people that are building in August, September, and October, right? This makes sense, doesn't it? Doesn't it make sense that you'd want to run now, that you'd want to build now so that when that momentum hits, here's the other thing. Oops, I almost forgot this. This is the other thing. In-person events. I was talking to Whitney Carrion this morning. I was talking to Tara Doyle and her sister Tanya. Like, they're so fired up right now. Why? Because, Tanya wasn't, but her twin sister Tara was at an event this past weekend in Sarasota. Whitney was at the event in Sarasota. Caitlin, on fire right now. Tara's recruiting people left and right. Why? They went to an event this past weekend. Events are...
So just build all year. Say it like it is, John.
A game changer. It's the X factor. If I were you, I would go through my organization right now. I don't care if you have a team of 5, 10, 15, 20, 100. Go through and make sure every single person gets a personal invite from you about the next event. Now, maybe your next event isn't for a while. In our company, in our company, we're doing our next event, I think it's like 6 weeks, probably about 6 weeks out. So first weekend in March, right? I think it's like the 6th and 7th of March in Orlando. Oh my gosh, right? I got so much going on. It's hard to remember all the dates and times and locations, but
I'm pretty sure that's like their first large event. Wouldn't you remember that? My tummy's growling.
I'm just telling you, there's nothing more important than events. Events are the X factor. You say, oh, my team is, I don't even want to say this because I don't even like putting this out in the universe, but people will say, oh, my team is DEAD.
Ooh.
I need to motivate my team. No, you need to go find motivated people. You want to motivate your team? How many of you want to motivate your team? Let me know in the comments if you want to find motivated people and you want to motivate your team. Go build some new teams. Let them see you go launch new teams. In fact, let them see you on the leaderboards for recruiting or for maybe you're on the promoter side. Go crush it on the promoter side. You want to go motivate your team? Go make a full-time income. Go fire your boss.
Okay, we're at 12:02, and I'm already starting to get tired of him. But he is giving Ray Higdon vibes to the max. They're all cut kind of from that same cloth of just that, I've got that secret sauce and let's go after it and let's get hungry for it and just go get them. And it's just annoying.
Go build a big customer pod. That's one of the things I love about our dual-sided compensation plan. I've got people making a crazy amount of money, full-time money, 5, 10, 15,000 a month from personal sales. That's the code that we cracked back in about 2017, 18. We figured out leading with the product was more duplicatable. Finding people that want to buy our products is easier than finding people that want to sell the products. And guess what? If they love the product, they're going to be more open-minded to promoting the product. If they're a happy customer, there's more likelihood of them wanting to share the product with other people.
I don't know how much their compensation plan is, but you're telling me that a singular person, even at that 50% commission, is selling $30,000 worth of your like 10 products? I doubt it. I doubt it. What a liar, in my opinion. I mean, who knows, but I doubt it. He is definitely putting that out there as a safety net to ensure that, it's the focus isn't just on recruiting. The focus is also on sales too. Once again, he's not dumb. He's not dumb. You know what he's doing. Okay, he's smart cookie. All right. He's ensuring that he's crossing his I's, dotting his T's, making sure that he is not going to be labeled as a pyramid scheme, as they should do. However, it doesn't mean it's not. Doesn't mean it's not.
That also could, in fact, be a happy customer. Remember, we solve problems for profits. So what problems can you solve? What problems do your products solve? Can you go out there and bring in 5 to 10 customers a month? Because if you can bring in 3, 5, 10 customers a month, you could also find people that want to make money. Believe me when I tell you, a lot of times they're one and the same.
How can we prey on the insecurities of primarily women in order to line our pocketbooks? That's what he should be saying. I mean, solving problems, that problem can be solved a myriad of different ways. Not just with your collagen snow, not with your nitro belly, whatever. Like, what are you talking about? And whenever we're talking about the fitness, weight loss industry, it is all about body image and ripping apart, in my opinion, the body image of a woman. We gotta look a certain way, and we've gotta have the hourglass, and I'm built like a gosh darn rectangle, okay? And I'm okay with it. All right, I got some big old shoulders. All right, I be hunching like the Notre Dame, and I'm all right. I'm okay. My body beautiful. It was beautiful a year ago. All right, and it's even more beautiful now, not because I've lost weight, but because my body's sober and my liver's healthy. All right. I just absolutely disdain the weight loss industry. I disdain the way that they use that. I think that everyone should feel good in their body, and if you don't feel good, then you should have access to things that don't cost money, and we do have that: YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, things that don't cost money, but things that also don't make you feel bad about where you're at, where you want to go, and the focus should be on strength, on wellness, on all of those things. And these companies, that is not what they do. Not with their before and after pictures, not with their extremely high-priced products, not with their verbiage, their slim collagen, not with any of that. So I no likey.
They're open-minded to the product. They're open-minded to the business. Doesn't mean everybody's cut out to do what we do. Doesn't mean everybody has that entrepreneurial spirit. But I got to tell you, over the years, I've had a lot of people that I would have prejudged. I'd be like, they wouldn't be interested. They're already making a lot of money. They were extremely open-minded. You ever heard the saying, the people you think will won't, the people you think won't will, the people you think can can't, the people you think can't can, and sometimes you're right. Did you catch that? Sometimes you think this person's going to be amazing. Like, they'll tell you, they know everybody. Come to find out, nobody knows them. Right? Or how about the people that say, I'm going to out-earn you? What's up, Jennifer? How we doing? Michelle, how we doing? I can't tell you how many times over the years I've heard that one. I'm going to make more money than you. I'm going to be your biggest star. Like, cool. You did the easy part. Saying it. Saying it is the easy part. Show me the money. Show me how you're going to show up every day. And look, this is the other thing. For me, what helped me fire my boss and really create that full-time income, I identified projects in each one of my legs. Now I don't remember how many legs I had back then, but let's just say I had like
I doubt it.
probably six. I probably had six legs. Now, I would recruit people and try to play. So this is a totally different time. This is back in like 2008 and 9. But, back then, there was no holding tanks. There was no placement suite. It was just like, you just had to, you would get a paper application. I'm not even kidding. You get a paper application and then you'd put them in the system. And I hate to admit this, but this is how that comp plan worked. This is why I left that company after 7 years. It was the worst compensation plan. But I would put people in like my deadest leg. So I'd recruit someone and be like, oh, I got to put this person in my worst leg because that leg's dying and I need that leg. So that was not fun, but I digress. The point is, I had like 5 or 6 legs and I would try to find a project that I could work with, that I could partner with in every one of those legs. Now, some will call it tap rooting, right? Have you ever heard of tap rooting? So you're working in depth. You're working with people that are 5, 6, 10 levels deep. Why? Because a lot of times, number one, the best people come in deep in your organization. It's the weirdest, craziest thing. But over the years, some of the very best, like I interviewed.
You're just a number to him. You're just something to help him get his money. He's admitting it right there. I mean, how many times can we prove that you mean nothing but a dollar sign to these people? And that's really unfortunate and sad. We're at 15 minutes and 49 seconds, and he told us we could just watch the first 10 to 15 minutes, and I don't want to sit here and watch him for an hour and 2 minutes. No, thank you, no ma'am. So we will call it there. But it's good to see that it's 2026 and still the same old John Melton of Nueva, that he is still spouting the same old nonsense. And even though he's trying to cover and say that, oh, you could just sell the products and just get customers, but he maybe talked about that for 20 seconds, 30 seconds, and the other 15 plus minutes of it was all about recruitment, showing us that this is, in my opinion, a pyramid scheme that you should not join. If you ask me. Fire emoji! Thank you so much for watching today. If you like this, once again, I'd love a subscription. It would mean so much to me. Thank you so much. Gently tap that like button if you liked this Nueva video. If you want me to react to more of John Melton, the Zaleckis, all those peeps. I love when I get some likes. It tells me exactly what you guys like to see. And I appreciate you watching. Bye.